Good evening, everybody. President of National Federation, coaches, players, and of course our distinguished guest, Marco Perez, and our General Manager of African Academy, Mr. Mohammed bin Hamida, and President of Coaches Commission, Captain Sharif Shemerli, and of course all the executive and all the people are involved in this meeting. I hope that this will be a very successful meeting. It's a way to activate our African Academy to really serve more and more all over Africa. So I appreciate the work of Mr. Ben Hamida, Mrs. Waidamondi, Sharif, and I hope that everybody will help and we will keep update our site. And I hope everybody feel comfort, listen, to repeat, studying what will be in this meeting and ask questions, and we are ready to reply properly to all the points coaches will ask. And of course, our aim is to improve our beach volleyball game. And the aim of this, that as we always promise, that I feel deeply in my heart that an African team should and maybe will be in the next Olympics on the podium. And we will start by the next Youth Olympics. So good luck all. And this is the beginning of this road to the Olympic podium. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Doctor. So coming back to our concern of today, I will just would like to brief some people about CAVB Online Academy, which started 3 years ago. So we are delivering several trainings in terms of coaching, referring, and management. So what we started already is the training of new CAVB beach volleyball instructors. We are proud to have 16 people, 8 from every language, English and French. The second training and the second project was the women beach volleyball instructors apart, and we are in the process. Then we delivered a lot of trainings for coaches in level 1 and the continental level, and the last project in place was the establishment of the foundation diploma in sports management. So this is mainly what we are dealing here, and beside that we have a lot of projects, and we will share with you for sure in the next future. So I would like now to welcome Marco Antonio Pires. He is one of the, let's say, highest and biggest coaches in the world actually in beach volleyball. And he worked and he developed, he was one of the people who were developing the concept of long-term development in beach volleyball of athletes. He is several times world champion, and actually he is head coach of Spanish national teams, beach volleyball national teams. So we would like to have him, and we are proud to have him as a member in our academy. And we would like also to take profit on that, to take this opportunity to learn from him. And I would invite our coaches to be close of him in order to gain in terms of knowledge and experience. And as you know, CAVB Online Academy, we're working on living legacy, and we are also working to share and to share the knowledge and to transfer the knowledge. So again, welcome Marco, and you have the floor.
So,
Marco.
yeah, now I can,
mic. Yeah, the
now I
mic.
can speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's share the screen. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Mr. Muhammad, for your words. It's a pleasure for me to be here, sharing information with all of you and speaking about volleyball and beach volleyball. This is what we love the most. It is what we have done for many, many years. So it's really a pleasure for me being here with all of you. So we are doing the same thing. We are, I can say that we are in the same boat. So as I could see here, we have Angie and Eddie from Canada with us. And I would like to say hi to them as well. We have been for many years together, facing each other on the World Championships. And it's they are very, very friend of mine. So it was a pleasure to see you here, guys.
So you beat us.
No.
Thank you, Marco.
First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Dr. M. Aweni, the President of Africa Volleyball Confederation, as well as Mr. Muhammad, Director of CAVB Online Academy, and Mr. Sherif, the President of the Coach Commission. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I also would like to thank Mr. Agustin Martin Santos, the President of Spanish Volleyball Federation, as well as Mr. Luis Muchaga, our Technical Director of the Spanish Volleyball Federation, that friendly, they authorized myself to be here participating on this webinar. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Also, I would like to say hi to Ahmed Atta, the Technical Director of Egyptian national teams, with whom I have shared friendship and admiration for his great work and efforts throughout many years as a head coach of the Egyptian national team. So Atta, it's nice to know that you are here together. So I will tell you a brief summary of my journey as a beach volleyball coach. I'll be very, very, very fast on this. Right now, I have been for 3 years as a head coach of a Spanish program for youth players and higher performance players. So we are located in Murcia, in one city called Lorca. We have here a very well equipped beach volleyball center, which we can keep working all year long with many athletes of 2 different groups, which we call the first one technification and the second one high performance. So, but everything starts in Brazil a long time ago. A long time ago. For sure, it wasn't easy to get here after 25 years. But this journey starts in 1995 when I start to work with some teams in Brazil, but actually I start to work professionally in 1996 when I start to support my family with the beach volleyball. Since then, I've been working with a large group of athletes in Brazil and around the world, athletes of different levels, different cultures, and different goals. That's the good part of this story. The opportunity of meeting people and make friends around the world. After 26 years, my conclusion is that nothing is more important than the friendship made, and I believe that all of you will agree with me. So I'm very, very happy with the beach volleyball because I could make a lot of friends around the world. Just a small memory about the beginning of everything in Rio de Janeiro, my hometown. In Rio de Janeiro in 1997, they start important, I will not say a project, but it was a kind of a project of a tournament. It was created by a father of two young players. By the way, they used to play a lot, those two guys. He created a kind of a Rio de Janeiro beach volleyball tour in partnership with the local federation, Rio de Janeiro Federation, for young players, boys and girls. And it was the first step for all of us to have the opportunity to work with the young players professionally. It was in Rio de Janeiro, in Brazil, let's say, it was our first step, our first opportunity in 1997. Everyone used to practice every day to get ready for the competition, for the tournament. And it was really, really very nice to increase the level of our players in Rio de Janeiro and in Brazil. It was the first step. Before that, wasn't anything like this. In the beginning of 2001, I moved to Greece. And I also was responsible for the youth players. But that time, it was a very beginning in Greece. And it was a very beginning for everybody. I mean, a project for young players aiming to play international competitions as a 5VB under 21 and under 18. And that time, there wasn't under 19, it was under 18. There was a very strong, in that time, and he's still there working as a technical director. There was a very strong technical director called Alekos Paraskevopoulos. And Alekos had the idea of gather the young players from Athens and Thessaloniki in order to prepare them, to select them to play internationally. It was done, and we got ready players for the first under 21 ever in France in 2001. It was in Le Lavandou in 2001, the first FIVB for youth players under 2001. The girls, one of them, we prepared the players, we were ready to play, and one of the players got injured day before the departure, our departure to the tournament. She jumped to block, and she touched the knee of the opponent, and she got injured, and she could not play the tournament. It was a very bad luck. We had a very good team for this tournament, but the guys, they played and they took ninth position, and the Brazilians, they won this championship with both gender, boys and girls, with Pedro Cunha and Anselmo, and the girls, Shailene Bad and Maria Salgado. In 2002, the program was even stronger than 2001, and we could work better with a longer period of time. And we went to Italy, to Catania, to play the second tournament ever, under 21. And we had the opportunity to play the semifinal against Herrera and Mesa, a very good team from Spain, which played the final of the first event under 21 in France. So we played the semifinal against them. It was a very tough match. We lost for 2-1. And the girls, they played the semifinal against Brazil, and they also lost that match against Juliana and Tayana. It was a great result for Greece, and great result for us, and great result for everyone who was involved in this work. And there is something that is amazing, that some of those players from Brazil, from Spain, from Greece, and they are still playing. After almost 20 years, they are still playing in good level. It's amazing. Right after, in the same summer, we played the first FIVB under 18, and it was in Greece, in Chilokastro. It was a great tournament for us because we got the opportunity to play the final against the Brazilians, against Pedro Salgado. Opportunity for all of us in Greece. So after this, after the Olympic Games, finished my contract in Greece, and I moved back to Brazil, and I also start to work with young players, with seniors, professional players, but with young players as well. Because the philosophy was always to try to renew the ranking, the national ranking, and try to give support to CBV, preparing new players, young players for the future. It was always the philosophy. So we got a very good system, very good sponsor, and on that time, I was the assistant coach of Marcelo Del Negro. He is one of the best coaches in Brazil, and he invited me to work with him. And we had Sandra Pires, we had Virna, we had Shailene Bad, Agatha, and also we had young players because of this philosophy. And then we work a lot with them and with the young players for many years, and we succeed with them, and it was a great job, a great program on that time. In 2010, I went to the Brazilian national team as an assistant coach. Before that, before 2010, in 2008, I was the coach of the under-21 Brazilian team, men, to the World Championship in Brighton, in England. One of the players, one of my players was Jefferson. Jefferson, he represented Qatar in Rio 2016. So all of you for sure know him. He was my player in 2008 with Gabriel. We didn't perform very well in this tournament, and I can say that we didn't have a good program behind that. So in 2010, the CBV start a good program for national teams for young players under 19, under 21. And I was invited to be the assistant coach of Marcelo Del Negro, Alemão. And we create a program for this. And in 2011, I was called to be the head coach of the program. And I stayed there until the end of 2014. So we create a very, very consistent program for young players. We got the opportunity to work with a lot of players that they are playing right now in a good level. Some of them qualifying to the Olympic Games. I could work with Álvaro, Vitor, Felipe, André, George, Arthur, so all of them, they were involved in this program. Evandro and all of them. So it was a very consistent program. I had the opportunity to play against Angie, won a great final in 2013 in Croatia. It was a 2-1, I believe. It's right. I'm right. 2-0. 2-0.
2-0.
But it was a great match. It was a great match. So
Yes.
also following the footsteps of the Canadian program, because it was strong. We in Brazil were doing the same. And we, girls and boys, they got the opportunity to win 4 World Championships and 1 Olympic Games. Because I believe that it was the effort from the CBB, the Brazilian Confederation, also a good program made by our supervisor, Jorge Barros de Araújo, Jorjão, and the good job of the coaches and everyone. So it was very consistent. Unfortunately, the federation stopped this in 2015. We couldn't go ahead. But somebody should move the microphone. I think I don't know who. And the program and the plan was very well done. We could work with a lot of players, and then we got the opportunity to get good results. So I like to say that the most important in all this process is not the coach.
No,
I believe that the most important part of all of this is the program. So to have the opportunity to create a good program that if the coach that is running the program right now decides to leave, the other coach who's gonna take this position can run the program without any problem. So it's the kind of program that cannot depending on the coach or the staff that is there right now. The program must survive by itself. This is the most important thing that I believe, to be able to create a program like this. This is a big challenge. This is a big challenge, but in my opinion, it must be done. So what I have, this was my journey for 26 years, working as a beach volleyball coach. And right now, I've been for 3 years running this program here in Spain, and also we have got good results here, and I can say that it's because the program it's running very well, very well. So I believe that if I leave tomorrow, the other coach will face will have everything ready to work, everything ready to work. So this is, in my opinion, the most important thing. So today, what I would like to share, of course, that I will not discover the fire, of course, because all of you know very well the sport of beach volleyball. So probably I don't have anything new here, but I believe that it's good as well, because we can see that the thing is not difficult. The thing it's simple. Just a second, guys.
So, hello everybody. I guess that we have, I think, some issues in continuing, waiting for coming back of Marco. So, as I told you that CAVB Online Academy started 3 years ago to deliver some trainings to coaches, referees, as well, and managers. And our aim was that we have to, let's say, to try to deliver internally such training and such education as far as, you know, there was a financial crisis, development of technology, etc. So we had to combine everything. And as you know, that Africa is a huge continent, and to move from one side to another was even a challenge for instructors or also for people or trainees. So we were agreed about opening an academy, working on a blinded, let's say, blinded system. I mean, online and in attendees. We reached in these few years to train more than 300 coaches all around Africa. Then we started with actually 120 managers in a foundation diploma, work with them. Then beside that, we are developing several projects. And as Dr. Amr announced that we are aiming to reach podium on 2022 in Senegal as African teams. And what our aim is to place at least one team per gender on the podium. So this is our aim. And so we are working with that. The project will be finalized by November 2020. Then the implementation will start on January 2021 until the games with some, selection system criteria, selection systems, follow-up systems, and competition systems, etc., etc. So this is the first project ever. In Africa, in beach volleyball. Then the second one will be the establishment or the implementation of beach volleyball in the schools in Africa. So we are also developing this project, and it will be also ready by the end of the year. And we will start also the implementation, the execution of the project by March 2021. In some countries, it will not be implemented in whole African countries, but we will select 10 till 15 until 15 countries. So this is mainly the two main projects we are developing for the next 4 years. And then we are trying to have some stakeholders like Marco. So we need to have some relationship with several people all around the world in order to get benefit from their knowledge, from their experience, etc. So this is mainly what we are aiming to do, and still waiting for Marco.
I'm here.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Let me share the screen again.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Don't worry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's see. Sorry, everyone. I don't know if it was my fault here, but it's unbelievable. So, so I'm not here to discover the fire, because of course that everybody here knows volleyball and have been working a lot with volleyball and programs and everything. So I just would like to speak a little bit about the title. The title is The Road to the High Performance. So this is a very good title. Can you see, guys? It's okay. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Okay, that's The Road to the High Performance, and it was a very good title, because the road is a place that we use it to reach some other place. So when we want to travel to other city or to other country or to any other place, if we go by car, we have to use a road for that. So before the trip, we need to predict what can happen during the trip. So we need to know very well, to have information about the road. We need to get prepared the car. We need to be able, if something happened with the tires, to change the tires. we need to put fuel, we need to have a map. If something happened and we get lost, we need to have a map, you know, to find another way to reach our destination. So the road, it's a very nice metaphor for what I'm going to speak here. So the road to the high performance. It's a long road. It's not normally if you want to make something very consistent, it is a long road. It is a long road. Normally, when this road is short, we reach the top or we reach some goals, but fast everything disappears. So the long process, this is, in my opinion, let's say, I don't like to use that word, but let's say the secret, okay? But it's not the secret at all. You know better than me that we need, we need to be consistent. We need to be patient. We need to work very hard. Otherwise, everything gets very, very difficult. So we have here the topics. I would like to speak about them. The first one is that when we are thinking in the roads to the high performance, in my opinion, we need to create some concepts, to have some ideas about what we want exactly. So we're gonna speak about the concept, about the, and then I put one more point here. It was 4 in the beginning, but I put this one. The second topic is goals to achieve. Okay, goals to achieve. It's very important to have goals to achieve. Also to evaluate what we have done, if it was right or wrong or good or bad, when what we have to change. So it's very important to have goals to achieve. And the third one is the strategy behind everything. We need a good strategy behind everything to organize before all mentally what you are going to do and how you are going to do that. The fourth point is the global view of planning. To have a global view of planning before we start to preparation, the planning that we're gonna use, you know, to drive through these roads. So it's very important to have a good plan. So the global view of this plan, and the last one is the planning itself. Okay? So we're gonna talk about those 5 points. The concept is to, let's say, we're gonna create here a concept. Let's say that we want to develop the sport of beach volleyball in Africa. Or let's say that we want to develop the sport of beach volleyball in a specific country, or in a specific city, or in a specific club. Okay, but let's say in Africa, to develop the sport of beach volleyball in Africa. The second one, to have a large quantity of players playing beach volleyball at a good level, at a good quality. So this is another concept that we have to think. And the third one is to enable players to reach their maximum performance in beach volleyball. So now I know what I want to do, and I have to go to the next step. It was guys, something that it's quite similar that I have done through this 25 years. Sometimes with more conditions, sometimes with less condition, but the idea was always this one. And then we go to the goals to achieve. So I have to make a question. It's very important in this process to make questions. And we have to try to answer that questions. And it helps to organize our brand. So the question is, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to achieve? So the first thing, let's say that the first step is to increase the level of a local tournaments. So I believe that the local tournaments, they are very important for youth players, for everybody. But for the young players, it's so important. They love to play. They need to play. So to increase the level of local tournaments. So that's the first step in my let's say in my big plan. The second goal is to increase the level, let's say, of African Championship. So I aiming to increase the local tournaments to have a large quantity of players playing beach volleyball. Somehow, it's very important. And the result of this, that you try.
Alô? 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 Matilah saya. Alô?
I'm gonna select from these players. I'm gonna select the best ones to be part of a group to go to the, let's say, African Championship. So the result of this is that it's possible that I'm gonna increase the level of the African Championship. Okay, and I also let's imagine this situation: African Championship with 8, 10, 12, 14 very strong teams facing each other. So the other teams, the teams they are more weak, they're gonna work hard to try to reach that level. So normally it starts like this. We have 3, 4 good teams, sometimes 2 good teams, and all the others, they are not good level. So the idea is to try to increase the level of the most important tournament in Africa, which is the African Championship. Let's say. So now I have, it's very possible that now I have the opportunity to work with a very good group of players, men, girls, and boys. And I can already start to think about go even further. I want now to go to play a world championship, but not just to play world championship, not just to participate on world championship. I want to play in good level. The goal is to face whoever. And I want to play in good level against Germany, against Brazil, against Canada, against Spain, against Italy, Norway, China. So that's the idea, and that's the high performance. So I am on the road for that. I increased the level of the local tournament. So now I have good players to prepare them to play the African Championship. And now the African Championship is changing a lot. And now the level is high. And the result of this is that everybody is jumping to another level. It takes time. Of course, it takes a lot of time. That's why the road is long. The road is long. So we need to get very well prepared for that, to have patience for this, to be consistent. But let's say that now the African Championship is in the very good level. So our players, they are prepared. They are prepared to change, to go one step ahead. So now my country, I'm gonna prepare my players to qualify to the World Championship. So the next step is to manage it, to do this, and then what are we going to do with those players that they reach a very good level and they don't have age anymore to play under 21 or so they need to keep playing. I can't send them home. I can say to them now, finish for you, thanks for coming. So I have spent a lot of time with them. They reached the level. We went to World Championship. We played against the best teams in the world in the good level. So now they need to keep playing. So the next step is to reach the level of A5VB World Tour and World Championship. So this is, it's a huge, it's an ambition thing. And the last step is to play the Olympic Games. So we start everything from the local tournament to the Olympic Games. So the road to the high performance it's very, very long. Okay? So now I can evaluate, for example, I can increase the level of African Championship, but so far I didn't increase the level of a local tournament. It can happen. So I need to realize what's going on and try to develop the local tournaments. Or I can have a very good local tournaments. The level is going well. The players, they are playing a lot. But so far I didn't reach the level. I didn't increase the level of African Championship. So I need to realize what's going on. Or I reach the first step, the first goal, the second goal, but so far I didn't reach the level to play World Championship in good level. So I need to know what's going on. That's why a consistent program, it's very important, because in the middle of the way, we need to change the road for a while. We need to to stop the car for a while, we need to change the tires, we need to put fuel, we need to know what's going on. Let's say that we succeed and we reach the goal for the first step, the second step, the third step, but so far we didn't reach the level for World Tour and World Championship Seniors. But it is in red because it's not our business right now, okay? It's just for us to think how the things are going, okay? So now I have the goals, and we're gonna speak about the strategy behind everything. So I need to make one more question. And the question is, how am I going to make this come true? How? So I need to think about that. So the first thing, and it is in our concept, is to have a large quantity of athletes, boys and girls, playing beach volleyball while maintaining a high level of quality and having fun throughout the African continent, let's say, or throughout my country, or throughout my city, or you have to fit it in your reality. So how can we do that? They need to play. We need a large quantity of players. So we can do it at schools. I don't know. And to change the culture and to start to, you know, to create a beach volleyball court, so to implement a beach volleyball on the curriculum. I don't know, but at schools it's a very good opportunity for that because there are a lot of kids. In clubs, so to increase the number of players training every day in clubs also, it can be done. Or on the beach, having a beach volleyball club as we have in Brazil. In Brazil, it works like this. We have a lot of beach volleyball schools throughout the coast. So we have a lot of points which the players, they go there every day to practice and to get ready. And we call it beach volleyball school. So it's very efficient. It's very, for us in Brazil, it works a lot. So I have seen good players, they start from this kind of project, beach volleyball school. So the second point in the strategy behind everything is to have a large group of athletes, boys and girls, training in each country, following a consistent program. So it could be done by a national federation, as we did in Greece, in Brazil, now in Spain. The national federation is the responsible to support the program. So we select the players from the club, from the schools or beach volleyball school. We select them from the tournaments because we increase the level of the local tournament. So we select them, and the National Federation takes care of supporting the program. So it's very important, and I have seen many countries working like this. like Germany, Poland, here in Spain, in Brazil, and so on, so on. So, the next step, to select the best players, the best ones, to be part of the program. So now I have the goals that I want to achieve. Now I have a large quantity of players playing at schools, player on the beach, player in the clubs. They are playing tournaments. So now I have a consistent national program, and I have to select the players to be part of this program. So I need to know very well where I want to play. That's very important, where I want to play in order to select the players. So I need to see the capacity, the quality of those players. The first one that I believe that is very important to select them is the physical condition. So the anthropometrics quality and physical skills, if they are tall, if they are strong, if they have potential to grow even more, if they are fast, if they can jump. So the anthropometrics quality and the physical skills, it's so important. So I'm gonna watch the players and I'm gonna select them following these very important information. So the second one, let's say, is technically. If they have a very good technical skills. So sometimes the player is not very tall, but technically he can play a lot. So it's very important too. It was a big question we had in Brazil, because the idea was to select just the tall ones, but what to do with the good players, the players that they are not tall, but they play a lot. They have very good potential. Technically, they are very good. So let's think about Bruno Schmidt, the Olympic champion. He has 185. So how to say? It's difficult to say that somebody with 185 cannot play. Let's think about Julius Brink from Germany, 188, 189, or 190. How to say to him that you cannot play? He's the Olympic champion. So we have, so far we have a lot of players like this, and they can play very well. If they have a very good, technically they have very good skills, of course they can play. So we can call them. If they tactically, if they have a tactical skills, if they are smart. I remember a player in Brazil. We traveled to see a under 19 championship in Brazil, and I saw a guy. He wasn't very tall. He wasn't very strong. He was a little bit fat, but he could jump. He could control the ball, and he was so smart, so let's say wise to play. Every decision was perfect, and I selected this guy to be part of our national team. It was a very good decision. He could not play in a high level because he got some problems in the process, but for the group itself, it was very, very important, because it's very important to have a strong group of training. It's so important. We cannot grow up training just with 2 or 4 players. We need to have a strong group of practice, at least 8 players. It's my opinion. And also mentally. So somebody that is mentally, he's very strong. He has very good mental skills. It's kind of players that all of you know for sure about this. He physically, he's not that good. Technically, it's not that good. Mentally, tactically, it's okay. But mentally, he's very strong, or she's very strong. So this is very, very important. I have seen players. Sometimes I have seen players that I say to myself, how? You cannot play. But they are not afraid of anything. They step inside of the court and they play volleyball. It's amazing. They play. They don't fear anything. They believe that they can win, and they just step inside and play. And the amazing thing that they succeed. So sometimes we have a very strong player, very well. He can control the ball perfectly. He is very smart, but mentally he cannot play. So I think everything must work together. Mentally, skills, it's very, very important. So I have to watch those players to select them. I have to see those qualities in order to prepare, in order to choose and to make my group of work, of practice. So now let's go to the global view of the planning. So now I have already the goals to achieve. I have already a local tournaments with a lot of players. I have already a good program from the National Federation. I have coaches working together. I have all support from the federation or from my club or from my city. I don't know the reality of everyone, but let's say that I can start this program to go abroad, to go to play, to prepare my players to play the World Championship, to play in good level against the good teams in the world. That's the point. I'm not saying that we're gonna win or we're gonna lose. It depends of the moment, it depends of the situation. What I'm saying is that our players, they should be ready to play in good level against any team in the world. That's the good point. So I have to answer a question. Where do I want to play? And if the answer is, I want to play in the African Championship. So this is very important. We have to know, we have to decide in each level, in which tournament we want to play. If I want to play my neighborhood championship, so the preparation, the preparation for that is one. So my idea is to play the neighborhood championship. So the preparation is one. I want to play my city championship, Rio de Janeiro championship. So the preparation for that is another one. It's a little bit high than the first one. So I want to play the national national championship. So it's a little bit more tough. So the preparation is another one. It's another one. It's another step. So I want to play the African championship. So I'm gonna face the best teams in Africa. So the way I have to prepare my player is another one. It's another way of thinking. It's another thing. My goal is to play the World Championship. So we are talking about the World Championship. So my goal, the way of my preparation must be, the level of my preparation must be very high. Very high. I cannot work with everybody. I cannot work with any kind of player. I cannot do any kind of plan or any kind of program. So I'm talking about something very ambitious. I'm talking about to play the World Championship. So it's something that sometimes we don't think about that. Sometimes we just prepare the players and we go, and then when we get there, we see the level and we cannot do anything. We just step inside and they play and they lose because they don't have any condition to face the best teams in the world. So this is a very high level program, plan to play the World Championship in the good level. So the first thing in the global view of the planning is to know very precisely the levels in the international tournament. So I need to know the level of the tournament. I need to know the level of the World Championship under 19, World Championship under 21, the Youth Olympic Games. I need to where I'm going. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Marco. Yes, yes, Marco. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's going.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
So the question is, where do I want to play? So I want to play the World Championship. So I need to know the level of the competition. I need to know the physical levels of the competition. I need to be well informed of the tactical levels of the competition. I need to be very well informed about the psychological levels of the players in this situation, in this competition. So this is a kind of information that it's going to guide my plan. It's going to guide my thoughts. It's going to guide my decision. I say to the coach that works with me here, and to my players as well. I always say to them, listen, I am not the one who decide the way we are going to practice. I don't decide. It's not myself. I'm not the one who is going to decide the way we are going to practice. It's going to be decided by the level of the tournament. The level of the competition will decide the way, or will guide the way I have to work. This is very important. So I need to know how they are physically, technically, tactically, and psychologically. Very important informations. The first one, the physical concepts that I need to know, I need to work with it. How tall they are. How tall they are. How high they jump to reach the block. If they are jumping, if they are reaching like 3 meters and 25, let's say, or 3 meters and 30 to block. And my players, they reach 3 meters or 3 meters and 10. Gets difficult to play against them. How high they jump to reach the ball to attack. For example, if they are jumping and if they reach the ball, let's say 3.40 or 35 or 40 or 45, let's say, it's a lot, but let's say, and my players, they are reaching the ball 3.10. So I cannot play against them. It's difficult. How fast they are. How fast they are. Their cardio capacity after a tough rally. How are they physically? If they are well prepared for high temperatures, let's say, the capacity they have to survive in a high temperature, like it was. Angel was there and Atta was there as well in China 2018 in the World Championship under 19. We were warming up to play for the bronze medal with the girls. It was at noon, and the temperature was like 50 degrees. For sure, they could warm up. I told them, don't move at all. Don't move at all. Stay in under the shade, and let's wait the time to step inside in the court, and then we're gonna move a little bit, because if you're gonna start now, we cannot play. So hot, it was unbelievable, and they step inside. The bronze medal was against USA, and the 4 of them, and then we were warming them up, serving to them, and and it was very, very hot. How to survive? If they are not ready for that, forget it. They cannot play. So the physical concepts, it's very important. We need to have those informations in order to prepare our plan. The technical concept, it's very important. The quality of the teams, the quality of the serve, the quality of the pass, the quality of the set, the attack, the shots, the dig, the block, whatever in percentage. Like the good teams, they have 80% of a good quality in everything they do. So the side out is over 80%. The serve is 8%. So it's everything. It's that high. So I cannot work with my players without those informations. I need to know against who I'm going to play. It's very important, very, very important. So normally when we go to the World Championship, we have to watch this. We have to watch the best players, to watch how they play, the high they jump, the high they block, the high they attack, how the way they control the ball and everything. Because I need to use those informations to work with my players. So the technical concept is very, very important. The way they play, the way the teams are playing in the offensive system and the defensive system. It's so important. If they are setting the ball close to the antenna, if they like to play through the middle, if the set is open, if it's fast, if the set is slow and high, the way they serve, the way they move to block and dig and etc. So it's very important to realize the way they are playing. For us, for you to create a strategy to play against them. So it's my opinion. I done it sometimes, and I found myself in trouble, because it's very bad when you realize that you didn't prepare well your players. It's the worst feeling. I should have more information. I should have more time. I should have a better program, because I came here and I could do nothing. So the psychological concept. So how strong they are under pressure. Sometimes I say that to my players. Thus, this player, we can do whatever you want. They are very strong mentally. Mentally, they are very strong. So it's difficult to change something on them. They are very strong. So we have to be strong like them. If we are not strong like them, it's difficult to play against them. So we need to know that. We need to know how they end the matches, if they feel pressure or not, how they play finals. Yeah? Of course, that we can say that the best teams, they don't have this kind of problems. But it's important for us to realize about those informations. So the planning itself. So now I have a condition to create a very good plan and a very good schedule. Let's say that we have 16 weeks of preparation, or 20 weeks of preparation, or 22 weeks of preparation. So I have to write down what is the goal for every week. So what is the goal for the technical parts, for the tactical parts, and then how I'm going to work every week. So if I have 22 weeks, I have to be very well organized for those 22 weeks. So it's very, very, it's very, we cannot work without this. I mean, I know many people, they don't do that. But if something happens, then it's difficult, to find another way to fix the situation. So it's better to have everything very well organized, very well planned. So the physical preparation, it's a very important part for that. So the global planning according to the ages. So there is one way to work with under 17, under 18, and under 21. So we need to know very well how to work with them and how to get them prepared to be well, to be physically ready, not to play, but to practice. To practice. They have to be ready to survive during the practice. So because the level of the practice must be very high. The global planning according to the calendar. So to make a program, a planning, but a program, and then there are a difference between planning and program, plan and program. But I have to create a good program according to the calendar of dates and of a local tournaments of let's say the African Championship and the 5B World Championship. So to create a good program to be followed. So it's very important. I cannot work just thinking. I need to write down and to put down everything, every detail of the preparation. It's very important, very, very important. Sorry. So the physical, I think I have one more before. The physical preparation itself to develop and to improve a global physical skills. So the aerobic capacity, the anaerobic capacity, strength, power, agility, and etc. So the physical trainer must create a very well, very good plan in order to prepare them in all these, let's say, law of physical preparation. So our sport is it's anaerobic. So I need to know, I need to respect the law of this kind of source, let's say, of energy that we need to play beach volleyball. It's anaerobic. So everything which concern to this, the law of this, have to be very well organized and very well done. The technical preparation, not to get them able to control the ball in any situation, in any circumstances. They have to be able, so have to prepare a plan to give them during the practice condition to practice everything which is important. Okay, it's something that I cannot talk about this right now, but depends of the level of our players. We don't need to be too much time, you know, preparing them technically. We can go one step ahead. Depends of our group, the level of our players. We don't need to lose too much time with something that they know already. So if they know very well how to, to control the ball for the bump set, I don't need to lose too much time doing this. I have to think about other things to give them other challenges. So to be able to apply any previous strategy. So if I have a very good strategy, but they cannot control the ball, I can't do anything. I can be smart. I can create the best strategy ever. But if my players, they don't control the ball, they cannot follow the strategy. So the technical part is so important. The tactical preparation for them, for the players to understand the game, they need to know the game. They need to understand the game. So the practice must be done in order to give them the condition for them to understand what they are doing. So to follow, to have the ability to follow a previous strategy. So it's very important for them to have this capacity. For us as a coach to speak to them, to create a strategy, and they must be able to follow that. So we can train this every day. So it's very important part of the preparation. To have autonomy. This is something that I believe that it's very important. They need to learn to have autonomy, to make decisions. This is they must do it. They cannot be just waiting for us, to wait in our information, to wait. No, they need to have autonomy. They must make decision, because sometimes what we try to we build a very a good strategy, but it doesn't work. And they need to be able to change, and they need to be able, to have autonomy to create a new strategy. So we can work them, we can prepare them for that, and to make them wise, for them to make wise decisions. So we have to train every tactical situation. So the practice, in my opinion, practice is we have to prepare them technically, of course, to control well the ball, but the practice itself, to play a world championship, we need to prepare them tactically. We have to work every situation that's going to happen during the match. So we have to create a system to play against the best teams in the world. We have to practice like this. We cannot practice on only drop or attack angle or block. No, we have to know how we have to block to play against them, how we have to attack to play against them, how we have to pass the ball to play against them, how we have to dig the ball, how the way I have to think. So we have to create a good strategy and apply the strategy every day during the practice sessions. It's so important. They cannot just warm up and touch the ball, attack and play, but without have something behind, some strategy behind, guiding every moment during the practice. So still in the plan itself, we are finishing the psychological preparation, the mental skills for them to learn how to work under pressure. Under pressure, it's very important because sometimes they feel the pressure and it's difficult. I remember in 2018 with my second team, they were playing very well. They were, they beat the Poland, they were playing really well. I think we played against Atta. I think so. And they were playing very well, but the match against the USA, one of them, she lost the control. She lost, and she could not play anymore. And I was there trying to fix the situation. And the other one, she was also trying to help her, trying to fix the situation, but it was impossible. And then the other one started to get nervous as well. And after all, I started to get nervous as well. So it was a mess, and we had a very good opportunity in this match to go one step ahead in the tournament, and we lost the match. So they must get prepared to work under pressure. It's very important to keep focus in any circumstances. They have to keep focus. Players that when somebody walks inside the venue and they are playing, they watch that person. No, they lose their attention. No, they have to be focused. They have to be concentrated. They can lose focus in any circumstances. So we have to train them for that. And to be mentally stable. To don't have up and downs. Then we never know what's going to happen. So very important to have mentally to be stable. So everything concerning to the plan itself, to have a good program, to have a good plan, to know very well against who we are going to play, and to be guided by the level of the tournaments, the level of the competition will guide our plan, will guide our practice. It's very important in order to prepare our teams. So let's see here. Just a second. Let's share again the screen. Just a second. I don't know what's happening, but no problem. So it's a huge subject. It's a lot of information. I know that everybody that's here is involved with volleyball, and all of you, you know that this is what we have to do. So most of the time we don't have a condition for that. Sometimes we don't have a budget for that. Sometimes we don't have a culture. The culture doesn't help. It's difficult to apply. How can I apply this in my country, in my city? It's difficult. But if we want to reach that goal, if you want to go, if you want to achieve that level, the road is long, and we need to be very, very consistent. The program must be very well done in order to give us at least a chance to play in good level against everybody. If you're gonna win, if you're gonna lose, it's another problem. And then I believe that a winning program, a winning project, is not the program or the project that wins every time. It's impossible. Normally we're gonna lose more than we're gonna win. The way to lose, I am the expert to know how to lose, because I lost more than I win. But the point is how to prepare them, how to create a good program, how to create a good system, how to have a lot of players in order to supply me, how to change the mentality of my players. So it's something that we as a coach, we have to think about. I hope that I could help or give some light, or to be, this information could be useful for somebody. In my 26 years as a coach, I don't see any other way to work. The things can change a little bit. The manner of doing this can change. I can do something like this in Spain, but it's different than I did in Brazil, which was different than I did in Greece. But the philosophy is quite the same. And always, when I was following a good program or a consistent program, sooner or later, we saw a good results. It is I can say that this is a law. This is a law. So we can have a very good generations, players, and the next one can be weak, but we cannot lose our focus. We cannot lose our motivation, because if the program is running, if the program is still running, the situation will change, and for sure we're gonna get result of this. It's normal. It's normal to have periods of very good results and periods of bad results. The point is, the difference is when we have the bad results. When we have the bad results, we cannot say, we have to evaluate if everything is going well or not to be able to change something, but we cannot stop. We cannot stop, because the situation will change and the results will come. And then when we look back, and then you see a lot of players ready to play, playing good level, you know, and then you look back and you see, whoa, what we have done those 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. We had anything before. Look now. This is a winning program. And also when you look forward, and you see future. You see, oh, I can reach that goal. I can achieve what I was planning before. I can see that, because the program it's running. The machine is running. The engineer is working, and that's the point. The details of everything, the details of each part of this, of everything that I was saying here, of course, it's just a general idea of everything. The details, it can be. We can speak about that in another opportunity. We can separate everything, and we can share the details, the whole information about everything. But I believe that the general idea is there, and I would like to thanks all of you for your patience, to be there, listening. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. I think that I'm on time, or what happened?
Yeah, it's okay.
Am I on time, or I lost the time completely?
No,
It's okay.
it was.
Now I can see Atta here.
Yeah. It was a very interesting and very exciting
Exchange.
presentation. So, guys, so it was a really an interesting presentation. So it was exciting, and that's why you lost time. But we will at least we will come back again. And now I'm just trying to fix some.
Mohammed, could you please ask, and Marco, could you please refer to the chatting part and answer the questions of the coaches?
Yes. That's why. So, Marco, there is several questions, and I think that you answered to most of them during your speech, your presentation. But anyway, I will just name the person and his question. So the first question is coming from Mr. Sherif Al-Shemirli. So what is the best age to start beach volleyball?
It's not from me, it's from Algeria, by the way, okay?
Okay, great. But you mentioned it. So, Marco.
Listen, I was in USA. In 2017, and I was working in one beach volleyball club, helping a friend of mine, Priscilla Lima, in Florida, in St. Petersburg. And we had a group of kids of 5 years old. And it was amazing experience because they used to come to the beach like once a week. Cannot be very every day, of course. And we were teaching them the basics of a volleyball, but very, of course, 5 years old, 6 years old. And then I believe that if we go easy, if you let them, you can teach them basic things, of course, but let them play, let them have a fun. They can start like this with 5 years old, but to start practice, thinking about to achieve a good level and to play national championships, to play African championships or world championship. I believe that with 14, 15 years old. So we have, for example, the Egyptian girl, Atta, what is her name? Your player?
Her name is Nada Hamdi. She played the two world championships, and also she played the Olympic Youth Olympic Games, Buenos Aires. Her name is Nada.
Yeah, and that was very, first of all, because she's very good. And she was 14 years old in that time.
She was 14 years old. Yes.
Remember,
exactly.
She was already training. Of course, Atta was controlling the intensity and everything, but she was already training. And she was playing good quality. Let's say Duda, for example, Duda Lisboa from Brazil. She starts on to follow the national team program with 13 years old. Of course, that the physical trainer was very, controlling everything, the intensity of the practice and everything. And then after 14, 15, she starts to work more harder. But I believe, Sharif, that it's 14, it's a good age if you want to get them prepared for a high performance. And before, just to have a fun.
So, Marco, following this question, Sami Mulungi from Kenya, he just asked, can you introduce a young player direct to beach volleyball without playing volleyball?
Yeah, this is a good question. And I have my personal opinion about that. I really prefer when they play indoor. Why? I explained you why. Because beach volleyball, it's a kind of individual sport. And I believe that they must learn to work with others. They must learn things that the indoor volleyball gives to them. And indoor volleyball, they have more chance to play more. They play more. How to say? They play more tournaments than beach volleyball in that age. It happened here, for example, the Spanish championship indoor for 13 years old, 14 years old. It's bigger than beach volleyball. It is in Brazil. It's quite the same. Now we have a good championship for younger players, but normally indoor they play more. So I like when they play indoor. But we in Brazil, here in Spain, we have a player, Daniela Alvarez, and she was a player tennis, and she played indoor for 2 months, and then she jumped to the beach volleyball. And I can say that she is a beach volleyball player, and she is a very good player. So both things can be done, but I prefer when they play indoor before.
Mohammed and Marco, can we please run in the questions because the time is running, and I think we passed the 2 hours. And I have also another concern that beach volleyball coaches write a long.
That's why I'm trying to read. I'm trying just to make it short. That's why. Another question from Ahmed Atta. What did you do in your plan to prepare the Brazilian national team under 21, Alisson and Gusto, to get the first place during the World Championship on 2013?
The idea was to beat Angie in the final. It was the idea.
Okay, great.
No. It was exactly the plan that I was explaining here, the presentation.
Okay.
We tried to follow exactly like this. And we, in 2012, we didn't have a lot of players. In 2013, we had a very nice group for practice. And they get advantage of this. And they were playing the qualification and they won the tournament. But we did exactly what I was what I was showing in my presentation.
Marco, did you expect the qualification team to be the team that won versus the team that was in?
No. So this was it was a very hard decision for us because Guto was already a very good player, but he decided during the preparation, he decided to play. To make a partnership with Fabio Luis. Fabio Luis was the vice Olympic champion in China, and Guto was playing with him, and he started the preparation a little bit later than the other players. And then I told him, I said, Guto, you cannot be the first team. You're going to be the second team. So we're going to play the qualification because the other players, they were here since the beginning of the preparation. I have to be just with everybody. And he accepted the situation. And we worked for, I don't know, 15 weeks or something like that. But he knew that would be the second team. But I knew the potential of this team. But the first one was Simon and Fabio, and I was surprised. But I had this feeling inside that these guys they can succeed.
Okay.
I don't know if I answer. Was okay?
Anyway, Marco. So we will also collect the whole questions because there is a lot, and as Sharif mentioned that there is a long questions. Then we will try to manage them with you later on. So another question from MX. MX is one of our sports management instructors. So he will speak with percentage. So he said, what percentage contribution towards podium performance will you attribute to continuous physical and tactical statistical analysis, and the key statistic to concentrate on? I think that he want just let's say segmentation of the different let's say different part of the preparation in terms of statistics or analysis.
Yeah, the contribution of this.
Yeah.
No, it's very important. I mean, we need to work with this kind of informations. Sometimes we don't have a condition for that. It's expensive to have a program for this. So normally I used to work, most of the time I used to work by watching because I didn't have let's say that a program for this. But I believe that it helps a lot as much as we have good information or precise information about statistics. Of course, it's very, very helpful.
Okay. So another question from your friend Osvaldo Machava from Mozambique. From Mozambique. Then how do you deal with the limitation of information in underage group in terms of World Championship preparation? I mean, when we know that for the young, we don't have that much information and data all around the world regarding the age group players or teams or competitions. So how you deal with that when you are preparing your national teams?
Osvaldo, thanks for your question. For example, for under 19 in Europe, under 18, sorry, it's difficult to have information about them because this is the first tournament for them.
Yeah.
One or two players, they have a little bit more, they show up year before, so we can have information about them. But most of them is the first time, so we can't. The only thing we can do is to get the experience of the last tournament. So we believe that the level it's going to be this one. So I have to prepare my players to the level that I am seeing through the years. Normally, the level of this age is this one. So I have to get prepared for this level. For under 19, it's easier because we can see them playing. We saw them a year before. Under 20, the same. Under 21, the same. Under 22, the same. So we can have precise information about them. The problem is under 18 for the European Championships and under 19 in the World Championships. That's the only problem.
Okay, from Libana, one of our sports management instructors, what are the things you look for when pairing players to achieve a perfect pair?
Tell me again, please.
So what are the things you look for when pairing players to achieve a perfect team or a perfect pair? Which kind of?
Yeah. Yeah, I understood. I don't have a formula for that. First of all, they have to enjoy to play together. That's the very important point. I've been working with some teams that they didn't like each other, so it wasn't good. Didn't fit well. So they need to enjoy to play together. They need to be very well positioned. Like one that play four can play in a four position. The other can play in the right side. They fit well like this. I believe that during the preparation, during the practice, we see that they have a good connection, a good communication inside the court, and they have potential to be a good team. I think the coach will feel the situation during the preparation. I don't have a formula for that. I believe everybody has his own way to make this decision. But I believe, first of all, to have a very good relationship between them and to see if they can fit well inside of the court. And the results during the practice. The results during the practice is important to make sure that this team is the team that we play, that they have to play together.
One more question, and the last question. Do we need to incorporate the philosophy of defensive and offensive aspects of beach volleyball when selecting beach volleyball players?
Sorry, tell me again, Muhammad, please.
I'm looking for the question.
I missed the...
Yeah, no problem. I would like to... Do we need to incorporate the philosophy of defensive and offensive aspects of beach volleyball when selecting beach volleyball players?
Yeah, the philosophy, as I was saying before, the philosophy is not, it's not mine. I mean, the level of the competition and the way that the players, the best players, they are playing, will guide my strategy on offensive system, on in the defensive system. So of course, I have to make the players, they must understand that. So normally they don't have any idea. They just play. And I have to introduce the philosophy and to explain them, to sit them, or listen, and to show them we're gonna play like this because of these, of these, of these. Otherwise, it's gonna be difficult for us to succeed. And I explain them, I show them the plan we have, and then I can change their mentality. And yes, I have to do it. I have to do it.
Okay, one question is coming now from right now from Facebook. So from Nada Goma from Egypt, can we prepare a team relying only on a good practice group with very few competition with other foreign teams and still make solid results?
You mean training with few teams?
I mean, can we aim to reach a high level with let's say less number or less competition?
Yeah, listen. Depends of who's a player. Sometimes we have a very good player, and this guy or this team, they can play very well in the situation like this. So, but most of the time, this is not the rule. The rule is most of the time we don't have this kind of players, and we have to prepare them, and the preparation is very hard. So we need to play as much as we can. We need to have a strong group in order to achieve our goals. So this is not the best situation for high level preparation. The best situation would be to have opportunities to play as much as possible. That's my opinion about that.
And as we said always, that the best training is the competition, the best preparation.
So a good match, it's better than 20 practice.
Exact. This is the. So from Sori Kamara from Sierra Leone.
The time is running, okay?
Okay, this is the last question. The last question. Refereeing is a big problem in Africa, like the All African Games finals. No one use overhead pass because of referee. What can we teach our players to help this problem? I mean, the problem of overhead set.
Yeah, it's a big problem for everybody. I mean, we have to teach them. We have to give them. They have to be confident for that. I don't think that it's something that it's very important to play in the good level. You see, for example, Emmanuel was setting with bump set, and he was Olympic champion. We can see Kartikilari as well, setting with bump setting. I really don't think that it's a big problem, but I believe that we have to teach them and to encourage them to make a handset. Sometimes it can be very useful. The problem is they cannot be afraid. They have to be very confident for that. And it's not in the practice. They have to apply during the match. So we have to tell them, if you make a mistake, this is my problem as a coach. So just try. If you miss it, don't worry at all, but just try. If you lose the match, don't worry at all, just try. And then we're gonna make them feel more comfortable for that.
So I think that we will reach the time, or we are over the time. We will end at that moment. I would like first to thank CAVB for this opportunity, and also I would like to say to thank Marco and welcome him in our projects. So you are all more than welcome. I would like also to thank the coaching committee president, Mr. Sherif El Shimerli, also the huge and the big family, beach volleyball and volleyball family. They joined us here. We are so sorry for there was some technical issues according related to the internet, etc. But we for sure that on the next future we will try to fix them. But for sure that it will not be the first meeting or webinar. It will be followed by a series of volleyball, beach volleyball, and management seminars during the next few months until the end of the year. So thank you, Marco. Thank you so much for your question.
Can you please pass to me the floor? I would like to thank, first of all, I would like to thank Marco for the valuable session. I enjoyed very much. I'm not a beach volleyball coach, but I was a beach volleyball player before. But I believe that it was very, very valuable. And also I'm very happy of the number of coaches. I mean, now we have a solid, body of coaches in Africa. And also we have a lot of players. We are now developing beach volleyball very good, and we are going to the objective, the podium, very soon. Also, I would like to thank my brother, Ben Hamida. I would like to thank Dr. Alwani and Huaida and CVB staff, Enzo and others, who is working behind the screen, Tariq and Tariq. Also, I would like to inform you that we will continue soon. I mean, next week, we will have a big surprise for French speaking countries, but for volleyball, I will not share the surprise. You will find it after 2 days. A very famous coach like Marco will join us, but for volleyball. And the next week, we will have another beach volleyball coach, and we will continue like that. I would like to thank you, and we can finish everything. Mohammed, the floor with you.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Angie and Eddie. Thank you so much. So see you soon.
Thank you.
See you soon. See you soon.